how do they compensate for the loss of livelihood of 6,000 people that are solely dependent on that particular resource? These people don't keep cows. These people don't farm. Half of them probably don't even have basic education, so they cannot find jobs. Without these answers, I think Tiomin is trying to enslave us again. This area has got a history of slavery. My own great-grandfather was brought up here as a slave from way back south in Nyasaland. I would hate to see that in the year 2000, these things are coming back again, because basically that's what it means. If Tiomin is allowed to put up that facility there,
has to be something that compels the company to make sure that they take care of the people, right, the society, so people don't lose their land and their means of livelihood, end up in the cities and simply add to the numbers that are in the ever-growing slums.
This was happening, if this was the language that Tiomin was speaking, then people would listen with a bit more compassion, because they can see that apart from their desire for that mineral in the ground, they have a genuine desire to develop people.
A huge company from Canada is planning to come and mine in Kenya. We thought, well, I mean, because there was a lot of fear that it's going to follow the normal pattern, historical pattern that's been taking place since colonization through, or even before that, and through to the present day, whereby money comes in and destroys local communities and so on, and people's greed as a result, not only from the side of the people with the money coming in, but from the local side as well. Messes the entire situation up. People end up poorer than they were before. The environment always suffers. And so we thought, well, this company, while it promises to do things that might be useful for our economy, will probably end up going down the same old, well-used path.
That they plan to ship out this ore that they were mining in Kwale out of Shimoni. And I felt at the time that that was outrageous. They shouldn't have even been considering Shimoni as an option, because it's a very delicate ecosystem. There's coral reef there, there's a marine national park, there are dolphins, there are resident populations of dolphins there are whale sharks in the area. So it's a very sensitive marine ecosystem.
So here we have planted over 7,000 trees. 7,000 trees. Even you can go around and see, we have done a lot. Yeah. And it is a pity if all that is going to be demolished. The mining, if at all it's going to take place here, it is going to affect the school a lot. Since if it is going to level all whatever has been established here, and bearing in mind the time the school has stayed here, that is since late 1960s, that is more than 30 years ago, and all the efforts, resources, labor and time which has been invested here, it's going to be wasted.
These activities are also going to impact on the individuals. It's important to know that families will be moved, and relocating families who have lived in a certain place for so many years has very wide negative implications children, for instance, if you miss their peer players, that they play with, when you look at the social networking of the community, for instance, the women's groups that relate together, they have certain activities that they do together that have to do with generating income that helps the family. Social networks relating to other daily activities will obviously be broken. This means that families are going to move and go and find new places. What we have not been able to identify is where are they going.
Basically, the kind of compensation that the mining company wishes to put in place or to give you people is not commensurate with what is going to happen here. We want to document a process. If indeed the idea is to have a mine here, we know for sure there must be certain steps that need to have been followed. We are trying to document that process with the hope that others can also be able to make up informed decisions on whether this mining is being done according to the laid down regulations, to actually implement this project the best possible way with minimum levels of disruption to people's social lives. Things have to be done the right way.
It is the company from the Tomen from Canada, sit down with the people in Nairobi, negotiate the contract, and finish the contract. They come down over here and just give directives. You people listen, this, blah, 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 you see. Without this water, this project cannot take off. Yeah. As simple as that. They need this water so badly.
When I come into the forest, I feel I am part of the nature because, you know, when you come here, you have come away from where there are many people and there is a lot of different noises which trouble your head and your ears. But when you are here, it's all quiet, and what you hear here is sound of birds and sound of animals and the fresh air from the trees. So it's always happy when you are in here. The Tumen mine, if it comes close to this forest, we fear that they may destroy this forest, and that if the forest is destroyed, our people then will have missed this natural resource here. So we would ask the government not to let this forest be destroyed. It remains here for us and for our future generation.
the biodiversity of the area, which is recorded in terms of the vegetation in the area. Natural vegetation in the area is going to be completely destroyed, and there is no plan that we have seen during our study on the environmental impact of the mining. No plan has been shown on how biodiversity is going to be restored. Secondly, the biodiversity in the mangroves is going to be disturbed. Biodiversity in the coral reefs is going to be disturbed. The biodiversity in Shimba National Park, which is not far away from the mining, the projected mining area, is going to be disturbed.
We also learned that there is a school that is actually being demolished. Where are these children going to school? How is it going to affect them? One of the major impacts could be that children are going to stop to go to school. Young girls are going to start to be employed, to be housemaids, to work in the farms. Boys are going to have to find work, maybe in Malay salt mines. So we are talking of child laborers.
After analyzing the minerals in that area, we know that zirconium also has the byproduct called uranium. Uranium, as you know, is radioactive, and from what we have talked with the environmental people in Kwale is that they have not been informed about this, that there is likelihood of having a lot more radioactivity in the area.
When you mine titanium, uranium comes up, and as a sociologist, I connect radioactivity with the health of the women, the children, and the men.
Given the scenario where the mining is going on and erosion has increased, we are talking of the sea moving inland for not less than 10 kilometers away from the sea area, because the topography that would have stopped the sea from moving inland would have been mined. The soil will be so loose that will be washed away into the ocean.
Thiamine is also moving in its equipment. So we are tempted to believe that the environmental impact assessment which Thiamine of Canada has commissioned is already a formality.
The law in Kenya says clearly that environmental impact assessment on any development must be an independent environmental impact assessment. The environmental impact assessment we are talking about, sponsored by Thiamine Canada, is not under any circumstances an independent study at all. And Thiamine Canada is a company that is having its headquarters, I believe, in Toronto. Now, the question that we are asking here as environmental specialists is, why is Thiamine Canada finding it easier to mine in Kenya and not in Canada?